Hey Moglets, today we're taking a look at the top 10 best heroes in Genshin Impact. This is a long-standing series I like to do for games that I invest a lot of time into. This is a pretty tough topic to cover since I believe all heroes can shine given the right circumstances or in the right team. So take this list with a grain of salt, as you should with all lists. This is especially true in Genshin because not only are there not that many heroes at the moment compared to some other games, but they're all so unique due to their possible constellation levels and the 3 others they're with, of course. To keep it somewhat simple, we're going into this list with no constellations for 5 stars and limited constellations on 4 stars. This is a pretty obvious flaw, but in the real world there are too many variables to take into consideration. Some day 1 players may never have a max constellation 5 star if they're not dropping hundreds or thousands of dollars, so we are trying to keep it realistic here. Alright, let's go. Up at number 10, we have Keqing, an Electro sword-wielding main DPS. Some would believe that Keqing doesn't even deserve a spot on this list, but having actually played with her for a massive amount of time as well as every other character besides Albedo and Jean, I definitely disagree. I do mostly prefer her as a physical DPS, but you can of course use her as an Electro as well. Electro reactions are still not that great. That's an undeniable fact. And yes, there are physical DPS units that can outdamage Keqing, so why I place her here is mostly down to how fun I think she is to play. Her attacks are snappy, her charge attack is fast and strong. With a Qiqi in the team, she can also do easy superconduct to reduce their physical defense and start the charged attack spam. Her burst is a bit on the weaker side, especially if built physically, but she gets a nice crit rate boost from it, and her elemental skill has some additional utility, being able to teleport to higher locations than jumping will allow. Overall, Keqing of course isn't perfect, but she is still one of my favorite characters, so I just had to put her here. Up at number 9, we have Mona, a Hydro Catalyst wielding sub DPS. Mona is a really great exploration hero due to the fact her sprint is unique. It can glide over the water. It's faster than everyone else's and it uses less stamina. As an added bonus, this will also apply the wet status to enemies you pop out on, allowing for some easy elemental reactions. She can do some good AoE damage with her held basic attack at the cost of some stamina, or some consistent single target damage with regular basics. Her elemental skill has pretty good duration, allowing for some more easy elemental reactions. It will also taunt the enemies, and after it's over, it'll explode and cause more damage. And finally, her burst is where she really shines. It has a massive damage multiplier on it, a massive AoE, and even debuffs the enemy hit with a special omen that makes them take a lot of extra damage for a short time. Personally, I'm using Mona when I need the most damage possible, in the Abyss or other time-sensitive challenges. Her omen in particular, when she uses her burst, is quite the amp. Up at number 8 is Klee, a Pyro Catalyst wielding main DPS. Some may be pretty disappointed at Klee's ranking here, but ranking at 8 doesn't mean she's a bad character at all. Klee's playstyle to me feels a little clunky, and I think many would agree she's not the easiest character to master, due to having a special basic attack that requires essentially frame-perfect animation cancels to utilize fully. She is, however, powerful, especially with her charge attacks. She's also really good at destroying geoshields and ore, something unlike any other Catalyst user. Her elemental skill is no slouch either. Jumpty Dumpties also explode after bouncing twice, and if you're feeling spicy, you can bring Jean along to suck all the little bombs together. I am quite sad this doesn't work with Venti, but it may have just been too OP. Klee's burst, on the other hand, is a little underwhelming to me. It 100% locks her into being a main DPS, or otherwise just not having a burst, since it disappears when she leaves the field. It does deal some very good passive damage, but it's not all that satisfying to use. Up at number 7, we have Eula, a Cryo Greatsword wielding main DPS. Eula is one of our newer heroes to arrive, and she is capable of some serious numbers. She is Cryo, but deals mostly physical damage due to how her skills work. She's also one of the fastest, if not the fastest, Greatsword user with her basic attacks, so she feels nice and fluid to use even in that regard. Her elemental skill is a pretty basic slash attack, but it ties into her burst quite nicely as well, since the cooldown gets reset upon using the burst. It doesn't really do anything at first except a little bit of cryo damage. You have 7 seconds to hit enemies as many times as you can, and after those 7 seconds are up, her white little crystal thing, actually called a Lightfall Sword, will explode, dealing massive damage based on the number of stacks you were able to get via basic and skill hits. The one downside to this, I feel, is that her burst isn't that useful outside of very hard content or bosses, as most of the regular enemies will just die by her strong basics before her Lightfall Sword explodes. Up at number 6, we have Xingqiu, a Hydro sword wielding support. Xingqiu is one of those units I've been meaning to raise forever. I've been playing with him on and off for the past month or so, and even at level 40, he is incredibly useful. His main utility comes from the sheer ease of elemental reactions. Either with his skill or his burst, you'll be surrounded by these water swords, which will inflict the wet status on enemies you get close to. So naturally, he's a godsend for any melee pyro characters like Diluc or Hu Tao, as well as providing easy freeze for cryo users. Besides that, he can also be a healer and provide damage mitigation for whoever is on the field. He's not as good in 4-player co-op for this though, as it only applies to your team. Up at number 5, we have Vinti, an Anemo bow-wielding sub-DPS support. Vinti is a really unique character. Not only can his held elemental skill be really useful for exploration, but his non-held elemental skill also is incredible for orb generation, and it's on a pretty short cooldown. With the right artifact set, he can be a damage amp as well. His burst is incredible in its own right, pulling every small enemy in a large area together, continually dealing damage, and provides some excellent opportunities for your other teammates to wreak havoc on them. Up at number 4, we have Ganyu, a cryo bow-wielding main DPS. You know, when Ganyu first came out, so many people claimed she was a sub-DPS, like someone you just switch to for skills, and I thought that was insane. Ganyu's claim to fame is her aimed shots, and given the right stats, they are devastating. This comes a lot down to her artifact set availability, actually. More specifically, Blizzard Strayer. This set, alongside Cryo Resonance, means you don't need to build much crit rate on her at all, and can focus on building her crit damage stats as high as possible. The aim shots themselves have an exclusive capability with Ganyu where they can charge to a second level, hitting twice, with the second one being a large AoE. Pair her with another cryo, a hydro for freezing, and you're set. Oh yeah, she also does have some skills. They're pretty cool. Her elemental skill is kinda like Mona's, but cryo? Her burst has a massive range and lasts a long time. Nice for keeping the enemies inflicted with cryo, either for melt for a pyro character, or just to keep her artifact set active. Up at number 3, we have Hu Tao, a pyro spear-wielding main DPS. I'm trying not to be too biased here, but Hu Tao is currently my favorite main DPS. Her incredibly strong and fast charge attacks, the fact you need to be almost dead to deal good damage, and her quick-firing one-shot burst. Is there really more to say? Because I only have like one paragraph written. Well, I personally place how fun a character is to use quite highly, because that's the point of a game. You're supposed to have fun, right? And Hu Tao is one of the funnest characters in my opinion. Her main downside, unless of course you have her at C1, is that she can run out of stamina very fast while spamming charged attacks. One other downside is that she can't be used with Bennett very well since he heals her too fast, and no one wants a healthy Hu Tao. Now as for the last two, the top two, they were so hard to place. I've been going back and forth on them for a while now, but I finally decided to put Zhongli, a Geo spear-wielding support, as number 2. I personally haven't used him ever as a main DPS, but I know that some people do with decent success. For me though, he has so much utility that I'd rather take advantage of. Before his buffs a while back, he wouldn't even be on this list, but they buffed the ever-loving shit out of him, and now he is arguably the best hero in the game. Anyway, his shield, or held elemental skill, is OP. Can take tons of damage, while reducing every resistance of enemies you're somewhat close to. A 12-minute video of Hu Tao being at 1 HP was possible due to it. His burst is nothing to ignore either. Not only can it deal big damage in a big area, but it also petrifies the enemy, which is kinda like freeze, but a little more guaranteed. Anyway, finally moving on to number 1 here. You may have guessed already, but didn't believe it because he's a 4-star. Indeed, up at number 1, we have Bennett, a pyro sword-wielding god. I say god because he can really be anything. As his lore suggests, he is a one-man army. His healing is good, his damage amp abilities are actually insane, his elemental skill is a great orb generator, being on a short cooldown, and built well can actually do solid damage. Where Bennett really shines is, in fact, his burst. This is where most of the utility lies. Super fast heals, but only up to 70% max HP, an incredibly strong attack buff based on his base attack, and of course the attack itself when he does his burst, and that can deal considerable damage. In addition to all that, he will also apply the pyro status to whoever is in the field, and that specifically is useful for keeping other elements off of you, like Electro that saps your burst, or Cryo that saps your stamina. That's pretty much it. Again, I'd say Zhongli and Bennett both deserve the rank 1 spot. They're both pretty busted. Bennett really just gets a bonus for being a 4-star. He is so much easier to get constellations for. Just don't be like me and get him to C6 because you didn't want to look at the red dot. Trust me. As a side note, Genshin, please allow us to turn off his C6. I know in Honkai you allow this with some skills, so that would be nice. Although I guess Genshin and Honkai are different sectors, but they're the same company, so fingers crossed there. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for today's video. I understand top 10s like this can be pretty polarizing, especially if your favorite hero didn't make it into the list at all. So I want to reiterate that all heroes can be used well in the right team, and that I believe there are no bad heroes, just some that are more exceptional. Make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leaving a like on this video if you did happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.